we were on an outpost and ran out of food. We were relieved, but the people that relieved us got there late. It got light right after we crossed the Mussolini Canal, going back to a barn where there was food stored to eat. And as we was going across the field, there was artillery shells come in, probably 4 or 5 of them. One of them hit right between me and another guy. It got him in the arch of the foot. It got me in the leg, just quite a little bit below my hip, between my hip and my knee. And I got to the building. I thought I couldn't find any holes in my clothes. I thought it was concussion. I just felt numb. When I got to the building, the sergeant asked me if I was okay. I told him I was just numb, but it must be concussion. I couldn't find any holes in my clothes. So I sat down. He pitched me something and said, "We'll fix you something to eat." When I sat down, I felt the blood running down my leg, and I said, "Well, I'm hit." And the shrapnel went under the flap of my pocket on my jumpsuit, and it was below my hip in my right leg, and they he told me he'd call the medics. When the medics come, me just to go with them. So they were taking us to a tent, made x-rays, taking us in another tent, where there was a bunch of operating tables, and we sat and just scooted down until it was our turn. My turn, I crawled on the table, sodium pentothal. It's what they give you, and there's another little nurse asked me how old you was, and I told her I was 19. She said, "They said they're not taking 19-year-olds overseas," they told us. I said, "Well, I'm laying here, aren't I?" And then she come over to tell me a story of some kind, and the other nurse stuck a needle in my arm and said, "Close your fist and open it up," and I went out. I woke up a little later, and not a little, it was quite a long while, because that was early afternoon. It was nearly dark when I woke up and sitting up in the middle of the bed, hollering for something to eat because I hadn't eaten about a day and a half. And the nurse, when she got up, a piece of shrapnel came through the tent, but it didn't hurt nobody. They was shelling the hospital, and she got me some food. The next morning, evacuated me back to Naples in the hospital there. The next morning, there was some more came in from Anzio into the room that was hurt. The one guy said to me, he said, "You know the girl that you nursed, you was giving a rough time?" I said, "Yes." He said, "She was killed the night you left." And then I was in there for quite a while. I don't know, a week or more, maybe 2, 3. And the guys was coming off of Anzio. I told the doctor I wanted out. So they sewed my leg up. The piece of shrapnel they taken out at the top of my leg. The others they taken out down at the side of my leg. And I think in all there were 16 stitches. While I was in the hospital there, I saw Mount Vesuvius erupt. It wasn't close to us. It was quite a long ways off. But we could feel it when it would erupt. We had a young man in the Air Force that was burnt that was in there, and his buddies came to see him. And they asked him where his personal stuff was at, and he told them, and they said, "Well, you haven't got it no more. The molten lava has covered it, and it destroyed 25 of a bombers, airplane."